Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Marvel Studios assembling a universe. This is from 2014. This is actually a 43 minute, yeah, 2014, 43 minute TV special. I think it originally appeared on ABC television back at a time where it was probably paired with, or I can't remember when exactly it was, but right about the time. Um, Agents of Shield was already running at that point, I believe, because there's an awful lot of footage from Agents of Shield in this that it featured special guests and stuff like that would appear later on in the series. So yeah, it's I imagine it was fairly established by then, but it's mainly a kind of a history lesson as to. It's also like a nice little snapshot in time for the MCU, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that we look back on now and we all take for granted. It's like this big juggernaut of just crazy, awesome, big action adventure films with heroes and villains that we love. Beyond umpteen different Disney Plus original series like Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight and Loki and WandaVision and Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah, it's more than all those things now. Disney Plus wasn't even a concept, I don't think, at the time that this was made. Everything that was on television regarding the Marvel Cinematic Universe was on ABC. So, yeah, it's kind of a big deal. It's we do get what is fun for me especially is to see how they rolled out the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the concept of it, to the fans themselves. Of course, uh, at San Diego Comic Con, and I was in the room each time these revelations were made to a crowd where they used to sit behind a table and just take questions and have microphones, and it was all very simple and very kind of the way we look at it now is kind of blah because things have changed. I mean, I realize it's been 3 years since a proper Marvel panel at San Diego Comic Con at in Hall H. Um, if you don't know what San Diego Comic Con is like, it's if you have a Comic Con or a comic convention in your town where you are that's not Southern California, that's cool. That's awesome. They are awesome fun to be at, but San Diego Comic Con is a unique entity in that it is intentionally it's cultivated over more than 50 years an audience that um, well, it's an event that draws not just sold out crowds of attendees and fans, it also draws in all the big celebrities. So everybody from Hollywood just takes a weekend trip down, and the studios set them up. They stand on stage, they talk to a teleprompter, they read a teleprompter, maybe answer a few questions here and there, and there you go. It's a big event. They get to hang out with their friends they haven't seen in a while from other movies and TV shows and whatever else at parties and things like that. And that's what happens. That's great. But for the fans, Marvel has essentially transformed its presentation into not just another panel, but as the capper, in a sense, for the weekend. Even though they are usually always scheduled as the final panel in Hall H, the biggest room. If it's more than 6,500 people, the biggest room in at San Diego Comic Con, they finish off Saturday night with their panel, and it's always the biggest panel of the year. Even though there are more panels on Sunday and in other throughout the place, and also in Hall H itself, um, Saturday night is what everybody builds towards. I've stood in lines with friends over multiple days, taking shifts just for the Marvel panel, where people would get in line Thursday, if not earlier, and then take 8 hours during a day, whatever, and then another group of people would jump in that line for another 8 hours, and we would rotate throughout this whole process until Saturday morning when they would finally let us in the building, and then we would sit inside Hall H for the entire day just for the Marvel panel. Yes, all the other stuff too is awesome. They have the DC panel and all the other stuff. All that stuff is great, but uh, I've been lucky enough to get the final shift most nights where I have to stay awake all night, or at least try to fall asleep in a line out by the marina, um, just to see this Marvel panel. And these days, they don't even bother taking questions. They don't sit behind tables with microphones. They just bring out boom, 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 star after star, sequence after sequence, original trailers, behind the scenes stuff that you can't see anywhere else and have not been seen anywhere else. And of course, they always make the big announcement. And just like in a Marvel movie, guess what? Just when you think it's over, a little after surprise. And the last time they had that, while they were promoting the Black Widow movie, which didn't get to come out until a year later due to the pandemic, a year later than expected due to the pandemic. But right after that, they revealed, oh, we're making a new Blade movie. That was the big thing. And so it was. This is all. It's all a very humongous thing, and I'm looking forward to doing it again this year. Hopefully, I hope I can get those people together again. That is a big tangent away from what I'm talking about here. The excitement in this, in the early stages of this, is you get to see clips from those panels in Hall H at San Diego Comic Con, as they reveal this new character, Iron Man, and well, you know all about the Hulk, but let's bring in a. We're making a new movie with the Hulk, and guess what? They're going to cross over in a sense. Tony Stark shows up at the end of the Hulk. Well, they don't say that in the panel because it was a big surprise. But then they talk about the surprise of Nick Fury with Samuel L. Jackson, playing the part of a role that was essentially pulled from the Ultimates comics. So it's all a big kind of. It's looking back on all these kind of big moments that formed something that is huge now. We're 23, 24 movies in, and TV series galore, and there wasn't even an inkling that we'd have Spider-Man or the Fantastic Four or the Avengers. Sorry, not the Avengers. Sorry, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, or the X-Men. The X-Men at this point of recording this have not been fully confirmed as such a thing, but there have been hints because of course now they own the X-Men. Marvel has acquired 20th Century Fox, and they now have an ever expanding universe that can include the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Daredevil. Now they have all the Netflix shows over here, and Ghost Rider. So yeah, I mean, while Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did touch on a number of different characters in a certain way, and the shorts, of course, also brought us stories involving Agent Carter with Haley Atwell and just a number of other characters throughout that. It's kind of neat to see all this formative stuff before they ever realized how big they could get. Yes, I'm nerding out over that. It's just it's a little time capsule to see how skinny Jon Favreau used to be. Hey, no crime. You like to cook, John. It's good to appreciate what you cook. I hear you're a great cook, so I'm sure you're watching this. But yeah, this is a fun little time capsule of that era, and you get to see them. It also works as a promotion piece for these upcoming films called Captain America, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, Guardians of the Galaxy. And there's even a little nudge towards Ant-Man, directed by Edgar Wright, who eventually dropped out. But they don't talk to him. They show little clips of him, and they also show a very short clip, test footage stuff of Ant-Man, how the scaling and everything else would work even before they cast Paul Rudd. So it's there's lots of neat little things to watch throughout this. And of course it's also a time when they considered Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. part of the MCU proper. Yes, in some ways it is, but it isn't. We'll see how they address that in the future, possibly. Either way, you can still enjoy it, like I've said before when I reviewed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, anyway, it's a good fun time for Marvel fans. It's a quick watch. It's not as short as I thought. I was thinking of a different Avengers Marvel thing when I talked about it yesterday. But yeah, it's a good fun time for us to look back. I can imagine even 10 years from now to look at this thing again and go, wow, they had no idea just how big this crazy thing would get. They had no idea when they made Iron Man how it would go. They figured, maybe one, two, we'll close down shop if it fails. It wouldn't be a huge loss. Well, now these days, if Marvel suddenly stopped making movies, the box office, the theater companies would very much be very disappointed because they do kind of like making money, and these movies do bring in money. So let's pick tomorrow's episode.
576.
576. We are almost at the end of the month, the quarter, so it's almost done here. Only have a few more to check before we reset the list. Okay. Now, this is a short. It's animated, and it stars the king of Disney, Mickey. It's by its title, I can tell that it's a kind of a take on the cartoon that originally introduced us to Mickey, but it's not that. I think this is a modern follow-up to that. It's Tugboat Mickey. So, all right. Shouldn't be too hard for tomorrow. Pretty quick. Tugboat Mickey, animated short on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.